Christopher Robinson.
He's very active. Yeah. But that's what I think. This
All right, good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Common Council meeting for September 8th. First item of business is Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We'll have a roll call.
Alderman Stralchuk?
I am here.
Alderman Pouquet?
here.
Alderman Meyer?
Here.
Alderman Lashinsky?
Here.
Alderman Garrow?
Here.
Alderman Hawkins? Alderman Nervin?
Present.
Alderman Adams?
Here.
Mayor Abendroth?
Here, we have a quorum. First item of business is a public hearing for Ordinance 1456, a request by Richmond Investment Group to amend the City of Mequon zoning map from B2 and R3 to B3, and a land use plan map amendment from residential 1.5 to 5 acres to office for the property located west of 7606 West Mequon Road. This was recommended by the Planning Commission in July, and the first reading was held at the Common Council in August. Need a motion to go into public hearing.
Move to go into public hearing. Second.
Motion and a second to go into public hearing. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? We are now in public hearing. Is there anyone who wishes to speak on this item? Seeing none.
Move to
I
close.
move we close public hearing.
Second.
Motion and a second to close public hearing. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Public hearing is now closed. Second item is personal appearances and public comment. Citizens wishing to address the council on any matter not on the agenda may do so at this time. We have one person who has registered to speak, Mr. Mark Girol.
I just wanted to see how it felt to be on this side.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. Girol.
It's nice to hear from you.
All right, I just wanted to go over something that I found that we all did at one point in time and go over that, but I'm going to start with when I first became elected alderman, I read our guide, and I looked at this the other day again, and it puts citizens right at the top. The reason we're here, the reason we exist, is to serve the citizens. I look at this probably once a week when I'm looking at stuff. It just sort of sits on my desk, and underneath that is the rest of us, the police and fire, the mayor, and the alderman, and it works its way down. When I first ran for alderman, one of the things that as I walked the district and met with people from my block watch was one of the big concerns they always had was they always wanted to be treated honestly at all times. They just wanted to be treated honestly, equally, fairly. I put together this little flyer that you probably saw in the lobby a while ago that says what I stand for. I wanted to read to you something. This comes from the company I work for. It says, and it's in our code of ethics. It starts out just like this, and it's short, and then the Code of Ethics is about another 90 pages. It says, act with honesty, integrity, and trustworthiness to preserve and foster the public's trust and confidence. Complete honesty and fairness is required in conducting internal and external business. It is important that every Wells Fargo team member understands that honesty, trust, and integrity are essential for meeting the highest standards of corporate governance and are not just the responsibility of senior management or boards or of directors. We share that responsibility. Corporate ethics is a sum total of all ethical decisions that all of us make every day. To have integrity, one must be consistently honest and trustworthy in everything one does. When you have integrity, people know that you will do what you know is right, And that aligns with how we define the culture at Wells Fargo. It's knowing what you have to do without someone telling you to do it. It's the core of a person's and a company's reputation. Now, I don't believe any of the aldermen I work with here are dishonest in any way, and I really have enjoyed working with you up to this point. I just wanted to say that. I believe we have to be honest with staff, and staff has to be honest with us at all times. And one of the reasons is the public trusts the information that you provide is correct and has been verified. Decisions made using the data you provide affects the lives of our citizens, their property, and their families. Your decisions also affect the reputation of our community. Honesty definitions: uprightness, truthfulness, sincerity, or frankness. Fairness and straightforwardness of conduct, adherence to facts. Adherence to the facts. Ethics, a set principle of right conduct. We voted specifically to have an honesty requirement added to our Code of Ethics. December 3rd, 2014, added to our Code of Ethics. July 13th, 2015, moved by Alderman Garrell, seconded by Alderman Meyer, to approve Ordinance 2014-1440, an ordinance amending Chapter 2 for the Mequon Municipal Code so as to add honesty provisions to the ethics and personnel codes. The problem is I read these codes the other day. Here is what is put in to our ethics code. No city official or employee may dishonestly obtain financial gain or anything of substantial value for the city officials or employees' private benefit or that of his or her immediate family or for an organization with which he or she is associated. That's not, I believe, what we voted on. This just pretty much tells you not to take some money dishonestly. I looked for where this honesty expectation was, and it wasn't in the Code of Ethics. The word honesty is mentioned nowhere in the Code of Ethics. It's over in the Personnel Code. And it says in the Personnel Code, expectations of conduct. It shall be the duty of all employees to maintain high standards of conduct, cooperation, honesty, efficiency, and economy in their work for the city. Department heads and supervisors shall organize and direct the work of their units in a manner calculated to achieve these objectives. Whenever conduct of an employee falls below a desirable standard, supervisors shall point out the deficiencies at the time they are observed. Corrections and suggestions should be made in a constructive and helpful manner in an effort to elicit cooperation of the employee. We all have to work together. I believe that as aldermen, we're almost like parents in a way. And what's the best gift a parent can give their child? Is it a lot of money? Is it a new iPod? Is it a great education? The best gift, the best thing a parent can do for their child is to set a good example. I would like us all to look at our personnel codes and our ethics code and have these designed in such a way that we can be proud of. Because having only a requirement, and I believe none of us voted to have it in here this way, or believed that we were putting in to our ethics code, just the requirement that we don't take money dishonestly. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Giro. Move on to public officials' reports, mayor's comments. I'd like to remind everybody that this coming weekend, the third annual Taste of Mequon Festival will occur on Saturday, September 12th from noon to 9 p.m. on Cedarburg Road in front of City Hall. This year we have 18 local restaurants and food vendors, over a dozen artists, a children's area featuring fun events, a magician, and a bouncy house. We have 3 bands that will provide music throughout the day. At 2:30 p.m., the first public piece of public art in the city of Mequon will be unveiled along the Riverwalk across from City Hall. The donors, Joe and Vicky Delgadillo, and the artist, Susan Falkman, will all be present. For those of you looking for a place to park, you can always park at Homestead High School. There will be a shuttle service running every 15 minutes to bring you over here to City Hall. And keep in mind that Cedarburg Road will be closed all day Saturday for this event. Mr. City Administrator.
Thank you, Mayor, members of the Common Council. Just a couple of quick updates. Last week, letters were mailed to almost 800 property owners in Mequon, notifying them that there is a change in their property assessment from 2014. The letters explain that if they would like to discuss their assessment with Grota Appraisals, the city's new assessor hired earlier this year, the best time to do so is during open book. This year, open book will be held between Monday, September 21st and Friday, September 25th, between the hours of 8 a.m. and 4 p.m. here at City Hall. During this time, adjustments may be made to property values, and any resident that has questions regarding their assessment is encouraged to make an appointment with the assessor. If after attending open book, the property owner is still not satisfied, the next step is to appear before the Board of Review, which is scheduled to meet beginning Thursday, October 22nd, also here at City Hall. 48-hour notice is required to appear before the board, along with an objection notice. Further information regarding open book and the Board of Review is posted on the city's website, and the 2015 assessment roll is also available for inspection in the assessor's office here at City Hall or online at assessordata.org. For more information, contact the assessor's office at 262-236-2952. And lastly, the city will hold its last appliance, electronics, and textile recycling collection event for 2015 next month on Saturday, October 11th between 9 a.m. and 1 p.m. Residents may use this opportunity to drop off all major household appliances, electronics, and textiles at no charge, except for TVs, which require a $10 disposal fee. The drop-off event will again occur at the city's sewer division facility at 6300 West Mequon Road, just east of the Public Safety Building.
Thank you. Moving on to our consent agenda. The consent agenda includes Common Council minutes of August, Architectural Board minutes of July, Economic Development Board minutes of June, Finance Personnel Committee minutes of July, Fire Department report for July, Mequon Festivals Committee minutes of July, Mequon Thiensville Bike and Pedestrian Commission minutes of June, Park Board minutes of June, Planning Commission minutes of July, Public Welfare Committee minutes of July, Public Works Committee minutes of June and July, Zoning Enforcement and Site Compliance Report through September 1st, Resolution 3328, a resolution disallowing the claim of John Grau relating to tree damage. This was recommended by the Finance Personnel Committee. Resolution 3329, authorization for an urban forestry grant, recommendation forthcoming from Public Works.
Unanimously in favor.
It was recommended by Public Works this evening. And Resolution 3330, approving an extension to the terms of the revolving loan fund by MSI Data. This was recommended by the Economic Development Board and was recommended by the Finance Personnel Committee this evening.
Move to approve the consent agenda.
Second.
Mayor, I'd like to take up separately items N and O.
Item M
N
and
and O.
N and O.
And is it Nancy?
N as in Nancy.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Well, let's vote on the other ones. Clerk, call the roll. Excuse me?
Can I say something? I would, I don't know what the rules are on this, but I didn't get a chance to see, it's my own fault, by the way. I wanted to go out and see John Grau's property just to see what the, is there a way I can abstain from the vote, or? I saw what you said, and I saw what you wrote. I wanted to go out myself. I just got busy and never went out to.
No, certainly any alderman has the right to abstain from any vote for any reason. And even if you went out at this point, you wouldn't see a whole lot, quite honestly. But
All right, we have a motion and a second to approve items A through M. And since one of them is financial, we will call the roll.
Alderman Strelchuk,
Aye.
Alderman Pouquet,
Aye.
Alderman Meyer,
Aye.
Alderman Lashinsky,
Aye.
Alderman Garrow.
Except for M, I, and I'll just abstain on M.
Alderman Hawkins.
Aye.
Alderman Nerben,
Aye.
Alderman Adams.
Aye.
And that passes 7 in favor, 1 partial abstention. We'll now take up items N and O.
Resolution number 3329, I move approval of it. Need a second, then we have discussion.
Second.
Go ahead.
The reason why I've asked on this is because it just says that there's, it has to be for a specific purpose, and there was no purpose listed on here for it to apply for the grant. And I didn't have the, I wasn't at the meeting, so I don't know exactly what we're applying for, since we will be using matching funds.
Two things. One, the resolution itself is just asking for the city forester to be named the authorized applicant. Unfortunately, he's out in Montana right now meeting his newest grandbaby that was just born. Alderman Adams had asked the same question. I would be happy to provide the grant once applied for. The resolution is really just naming the authorized person. So we'd be happy to share the grant. I can't speak to what the specific request is going to be in this year's application.
Okay.
Okay, we have a motion and a second, basically to assign the city forester to apply for this grant. So all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, item N is approved. Resolution 3330, item O.
Item O, I recommend approval.
Second.
And the reason why I'm just bringing that up is because of the fact that MSI Data has, one of the requirements for this is that they do meet an employment goal, and MSI Data has met that goal, and as a matter of fact, online today and looking at that, they are looking for more employees for their company, and so I just wanted to let them know that they did meet the requirement for this, and it's one of the reasons why I'm moving approval for it.
Okay. Motion and a second to approve. Call the roll.
Alderman Pouquet,
Aye.
Alderman Meyer,
Aye.
Alderman Lashinsky,
Aye.
Alderman Garrow,
Aye.
Alderman Hawkins.
Aye.
Alderman Nerben,
Aye.
Alderman Adams.
Aye.
Alderman Strelchuk.
Aye.
And that is adopted 8-0. Ordinances, moving along to ordinances. Ordinance 1456, a request by Richmond Investment Group to amend the City of Mequon zoning map from B2 and R3 to B3, which is office and service, and a land use plan map amendment from residential 1.5 to 5 acres to office for the property located west of 7606 West Mequon Road. This was recommended by the Planning Commission in July, and the first reading was held at the Common Council in August.
Mayor, I will be reclusing myself from the vote.
You will be recusing yourself?
Correct.
Okay.
Move to approve.
I'll second that.
Motion and a second to approve. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, we will call the roll.
Alderman Lashinsky,
Aye.
Alderman Garrow.
Aye.
Alderman Hawkins. Alderman Nerben.
Aye.
Alderman Adams.
Aye.
Alderman Strelchek.
Aye.
Alderman Bouquet.
Aye.
And that passes 7-0. Ordinance 1457, an ordinance creating Section 14-25, paren 1A of the Mequon Municipal Code to provide for Class A cider-only liquor licenses. This was recommended by the Finance Personnel Committee in August, and the first reading was at the Common Council in August.
Move to approve?
Second.
Motion and a second to approve. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, call the roll.
Alderman Meyer.
Aye.
Alderman Lashinsky.
Aye.
Alderman Garrow.
Aye.
Alderman Hawkins.
Aye.
Alderman Nerben.
Aye.
Alderman Adams.
Aye.
Alderman Strelchek.
Aye.
Alderman Bouquet.
Aye.
8-0, and that ordinance is approved. Ordinance 1458, a request by Ryan Companies to amend the City of Mequon zoning map from B2 to B2 with a planned unit development for the 7.38 acre property located at the northeast corner of Port Washington Road and Venture Court to allow the construction of a 3-story, 86,000 square foot medical office. This was recommended by the Planning Commission in August, and this is a first reading. Moving on to resolutions, we don't have any. We don't have any specified unfinished business, no petitions, memorials, remonstrances, or communications. Under specified miscellaneous new business, we have one mayoral appointment to the tree board.
I would move to approve that
I'll
appointment.
second.
Motion and a second to approve. Is there any discussion?
Just that Carol has served in the past, and she is going to offer a lot of expertise. The tree board is very lucky to have such knowledgeable people on the board, so I'm thrilled that she was willing to serve.
Alderman Strelchak.
On the similar vein, I've known Mrs. Banks since I was 5. Went to school with her son. I've worked with her as a landscaper. And I've also had an opportunity to talk to her about a couple city policy issues when I had some questions and wanted to make sure I was doing the right thing. I think the mayoral appointment of this individual is just an excellent choice, and I'm grateful for her service. And would also like to thank her for taking the time to serve her city once again. We are very lucky.
We are.
Everybody on our street is, yeah, anyway. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And the appointment is approved. Looking for a motion to adjourn.
So moved. Second. Third.
We have a motion and a second to adjourn. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? We are adjourned.